So help me God.
Mr. Chair,
Nominee,
you may have
sit
to.
up, please. You have 5 minutes to tell us, just 5 minutes, not more than 5 minutes, consider time and all engagement to tell us why you are best suited for this position, why the Senate in their research confirm you as Deputy Director for Operations and Administration respectively. Having said that, Deputy Director for Administration, you got the floor, 5 minutes.
Thank you, Honorable Senator.
My name is Kui Kefofa, a Liberian, hail from Gomulala District, Wabble County. I worked for the DEA before. I have been with the DEA for many years and have experience about the DEA, so I think I'm best suited, Honorable Senator, for this job. If I can explain further, I was employees of the agency from its inception as a coordinating organization until it began to be an agency passing the law since 1998, and then I worked in the rank and files from sweeper up to becoming a deputy director under the stewardship of the former president, Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. I left the agency when there was a policy of government to change government, and then was asked to leave. And so I've had so many trainings for the agency. I went to the Regional Academy for Drug Control, where I did my first basic police training. From there, I've had several trainings around the West African region and other countries in America and in Europe and Asia also. And so I'm a trained police officer, and under the Drug Enforcement Agency, I'm a drug law enforcement officer also, and I have worked with the agency in so many departments. I serve sometimes at the investigation, that is the operational department. I serve as investigator. I serve as deputy chief investigator. I've also served as the administrative department. I serve as the deputy personnel. And also, I serve as the coordinating, the leader for the agency, that is the interagency coordinator under the stewardship of the various directors that came to administer the affairs of the agency, up to becoming deputy director for administration.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. The Deputy Director for Operation Destiny.
Thank you, Representative. My name is Sebastian Fa. I'm from Liberian County. Let me first start with my educational background. I have 2 bachelors, one in law and one in criminal justice. I have a master's degree in education administration. I'm a qualified professional and a career law enforcement officer. I have spent over 15 years in law enforcement in Liberia, serving in several capacities. My last position was the chief training, the commander for the police training academy, where I served for 5 years. I was in charge of all of the instructors and the basic recruits that came for training there. Before then, I also served as the director for monitoring, surveillance, and rescue at the Maritime Authority, where I was in charge of the West African rescue region from Ghana up to Sierra Leone. Every vessel that flies on our waters are being inspected by me on a daily basis. We had a server from the U.S. Embassy where we can tap a vessel and it tells us where the vessel came from, its flag, what it carried, and all the countries it has passed through. I also served as in charge at the Correctional Palace in Grand Junction County, where there were a series of jailbreaks, and I was seconded from the police to take on that job from the former Minister of Justice, Christian at the time. When the NBI was about to phase into the police, I was also seconded there as a Deputy Director for Administration. I was in charge of the entire measure of the police. I also served as a commander for the Emergency Response Unit. At the time when the UN had the rapid response team from the Irish government and they were about to leave Liberia, we were called in and were trained to replace that unit. So I served as commander for straight 3 years. Now, at that time, all of the drugs enforcement was on the police. And so we did all the drug raid for the police at that time in Monrovia. I'm happy to be here today as a nominee for the Deputy Director for Operation at the LDEA. With my education, my experience, I'm sure that I can bring a change to that entity that will help to improve the national security of this country. Thank you, Honorable Senator.
Thank you, Honorable Director for Operation Yesterday. At this point in time, we will ask all senators in the House to kindly introduce themselves for question and answer, starting from my far left.
I'm Senator Councilor Augustine as chair, Reverend Silo, I'm a member of the committee, I'm also the chair of the Committee on Judiciary.
Senator Nominee Batewa. I'm here from Great Group, and I'm a member of this group.
Retired Representative Slash, Senator I'm glad to have come.
Thank you.
I am Zaba Senator Randy County,
Yeah,
member of this committee, and I chair the committee on the
So I'm Senator Johnny K. Pehe. I hail from Bon County and member of the committee. And what is so key to me is also the Johnston we're about to discuss because I'm also chairing the committee on youth and sports.
Senator Thomas Yaya Nimley, member of this committee, chair on labor, and chair on the subcommittee on veterans affairs.
Thank you. So my name, as chairperson, my name is Norman County Cyrus. I here from local county, and I'm the chair of national security in this House of Senate, in the Senate, the Liberia Senate. So at this point in time, we will begin questioning the nominees. We'll give each senator at most 5 minutes interaction between the nominees and that of the senators. Can pose a question both for operations or administration, but each senator has got 5 minutes considered. Thank you. Okay, that's not okay. Sorry.
So like I said, Senator Johnny Pehe from Bon County. And I want to say thank you for your short deliberation. So splendid. My business question will go into the operation, the Director General for Operation. You know, is the key component of the LDEA. You run all of the day-to-day affairs and all of the operations that of the LDEA, you take charge of those things. If you look at our situation in this country, the youthful population is wearing away. And we believe that somebody who is to inherit that position or to take on the charge of that position should come with vast experience, for which I listened to you came with that experience. But this is it. What different are you going to bring that is more of than one of the other people that have been at the LDEA?
Thank you, Honorable Senator. When you talk about difference, all I can assure you is as we go along with the job, our performances will show the difference, whether we are good or whether we are bad. Those are there before. Generally, it's not good to compare yourself with your predecessors in law enforcement. Those are there before, they were my colleagues, Common Kumar, Bahu, and Fatiga, they are my colleagues. Our performance, our job will show itself whether we're better than them or they're better than us.
Maybe I will paraphrase. What strategy are you coming with?
Okay, good. Thank you very much, Senator. This is a new agency that I'm going to start to run the operational department. The first thing that I started to do before even coming here was to go there, ask some questions. There are 3 key points that are considered. Firstly is the human resource. We need to know the kind of training that the men have got that are already there. Secondly, we need to know the story of this action agent being about 10 times the actual officers are there. That's the issue. The next thing is the material resource. Do they have the equipment to work with? The logistics to work with? Once all those things are put in place, then we look at the motivation. LDEA does a paramilitary job as law enforcement. When the men are not motivated, they will be yes. One of the things I also ask about is the insurance. Do they have medical insurance? Do they have life insurance? Because they are going harm's way. Very, very, very important. Do they have training when it comes to going to the academy or going out of the country? These are things that I've already settled down with. Now, my own plans that I'm going to bring forth as I get there, it's very simple. I've been the head of a riot unit and also advanced unit. I've done
Information.
yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, Liberia Police. Mr. Chairman, for me, I know that we want to make the public know that we are working on security, national involvement, and drugs, the issue of drugs in the country. I want for us to do this. For him to come at operation, the Deputy Director of Operation,
Which is key.
to explain his strategies on camera. I think it's very wise.
So just a correction, the way I'm going to do, just an oversight. These are security issues. If you are asked a question that borders around security, you can always talk to us in committee. I've always done that, just an oversight. You will call it committee. So do not ask a question that has security implications.
Okay.
We can always call it the committee room.
For the order, sir. Because of time, we just left section. So please, market the points of your response.
Yeah, we don't have time.
Thank you, sir. Sir, there are two-
But it basically says security says security situation that we are discussing. I don't think we should go into too many questions because they have questions that we want to pose here. We cannot say anything to that. Definitely, I worry about because the issue of the job is very key.
Sure.
If I sit here, if on the television, and if I will ask you some question that will benefit the people of my county, more especially the just issue now in every county, in all our families, in our families, in our families, every family do have just user in their family. So if we're about to discuss the issue of job, it's key. If you don't want us to ask the hard question that the people of opinion today mean that I think this year we should just do it in our offices, and then also come here and say we want to do camera thing and we'll be asking that question. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you so much. You can ask administrative questions, but operational questions that borders around security. That's why I said 5 minutes. I know security 5 minutes will be short. Yes, that's why I said 5 minutes. Just administrative questions, like yourself, your education or your qualification, and something like that. But operational issues will be discussed. We'll definitely call you in committee room for further discussion. If the need arises.
Let me get some right introduction. Now, of course, I'm going to meet new officers. So we'll do a so-called re-vetting in my mind. We'll know the educational background, which means you took.
And dismiss all the other people that now didn't have to be qualified.
No, that's not concerned. We're not going to dismiss people, but it's important that you know who you work with, educationally and training-wise. So, on our operations, we have 4 key areas: intelligence and investigation, planning operation, special operation services, and what we call the chemical forensics. It is important that we train various teams in those sections. That's one of the key issues. Training is the key.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Next question. Next question.
Yes. Oh, yeah, my sister.
Yeah, that one.
Well, to be honest, the confirmation hearing is a little bit restricted because for security, the administration part, administrative is important. But drugs, as we are all aware, is an emergency in our country, in our communities. In my introduction, I told you I'm from Rankin Park County. Rankin Park is now a target entry point of drugs in this country. Just on December 9, consignments of drugs were seized from a truck. And it happens almost every other month. Every community now has a ghetto in Monrovia, in all the other 14 counties. So we need to, and I think I suggested it from the beginning, go back to our community room and ask what innovation are they bringing they've been in the sector before, they have served. It's good to have the experience. But you will also agree with me that when you serve in your various roles during Mama early time, the situation of drug today were not at that level. So it requires new innovation, new energies to fight the drug. And I always say, I will repeat, when the president declared a situation as an emergency, it requires emergency response. You need to tell us that emergency plan you have to clamp down on the use of drug and the destruction of our future as a nation, especially for women mothers. So, Mr. Chairman, I don't want to ask questions about all my questions I wrote here are technically related. So we can't ask them, I had a man with red check, how he will do voucher. It's not important in the fight. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Senator, for keep on.
We'll ask Senator.
Thank you, Mr.
Senator Pena. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, distinguished colleagues. Mr. Chairman, for me, I just want to make a premise before if there will be any question. Mr. Deputy Director of Administration, Destiny, and DMD for Destiny also. For me, like my colleague from Kema just said, every county in Liberia is affected by drugs. Every county. For me, this government, I'm serving in two things when they are successful: roads and to eradicate drugs. That's my goal. One time I spoke on the floor here and told my colleagues, it's not possible for you to have LDEA employee who is volunteer and you expect that person, he or she, to arrest drugs, and you think that person will
Turn it over to the government. Be destroyed. It's not possible. It's not possible. I'm in Liberia. And I give an example myself. I said on the floor that, for example, I was doing my level. I'm a volunteer of DEA.
and I went to Grand Chile, for example, I signed Basel or Grand Chile, and I arrested 10,000 United States dollars for drugs. Do you think I will report the drugs? The question is no, because I'm just a volunteer. My children have to go to school. I want to build my 2-bedroom house. So I believe the biggest problem, as Deputy Director of Administration Destiny, your biggest problem is how to place these people on payroll. So they can be sincere to the job, not to get in the right uniform, to be running around looking for the people. They are looking for the people for themselves. I believe all the confusion in your institution is a bribery allegation. We want to take the highest share because drugs are cash. Take your leaving. You'll be tempted. If you not be careful in the next 2-3 months, confusion will be in your midst. Because the people that are out there, your lieutenants that you are depending on, for you are sitting in the offices. But those are in operations in the fewer counties. I just listened to the Deputy of Operation Destiny. He said that he's going to do everything possible to qualify and train officers. It doesn't matter this area to be county commander. You are not taking no training because of party affiliation. You have been sent to Grand Chile, for example. The trained person should go to Grand Chile. I get example in my own town, Tucson. Young babies. All of them, the best thing they can practice these days are to smoke drugs. Taking drugs. Every town in Liberia now you get, sorry for saying that, you have Zongo. And nothing they cause because the children are on drugs. They don't respect teachers no more. They don't respect their parents. So I want children to come back as a human being and ask me your hands. More especially Deputy Director for Operation Destiny. If confirmed, this thing is not about partisan, it's not about friend, it's not about brother or sister. If one person is caught, if Senator give you a call to say, please, I'm a relative, expose Zoe Malapelo to the public, now part of the drug trafficking in Liberia. Because all people use their powers to intimidate you guys, to say that my sister, that my brother, that my relative, they allow the person, then justice do or bad. And also, sometimes when you arrest some people in Grand Chile, they shouldn't be tried in Grand Chile. Because all people we are interrelated, the country is very small. The country is very small. The country actually go low, like every brother they arrested, and definitely that person will be released. We have experienced a lot of things. I've been doing for it is true what you just said in your profile, and you work in Grand Chile, it's true. Well, it's still not prison. I heard about him, but him I said, no interfere. I don't interfere with people when they do their job. So that way of working, I feel that's way of working to make sure the right thing should be done. If confirmed, I want you to do the same. It's not a mistake for the president to nominate you to the Senate, and today you are sitting before the senators for confirmation. It's because of your past record. So if confirmed, please do the right thing. And to you, please find a way to get the rightful people on payroll. You all need a volunteer. Other than that, I'm not making your bad, but if you continue to have volunteer in the service, you'll not achieve anything. I'm telling you the reality. I gave an example before this floor. As you continue to get volunteer in the service, you'll not achieve anything. Your administration will say you failed. Because you cannot have Zobel volunteer. I assigned in Maryland, I arrested $2-3 million over drugs, and my children are in school. But I knew when I'm getting $300-400, I would be paid on that one to say if I do this, or increase my salary, or I'll be promoted. Competition should be in it. But if you get 65% volunteer, and the rest, they're on payroll sitting in Monrovia, you'll not achieve anything. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Senator, to open up for Grand Chile County. Now we take Senator Latikwe from Franklin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you. May I first congratulate you for your nomination to head the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency. My few concerns, have you overviewed taking drug tests? Can you exhibit your papers?
Seal up,
Sergeant, I'm ready for us. Administration.
I took the drug test. Sorry, I didn't bring it here.
You got 17.
Drug test, I just did it, I didn't bring on my file. Okay.
It's okay.
Please, I was submitted very soon. Please, you know that, just as you explained earlier, because of the security implications, you will be divided into committee room. Still, before that interaction, second interaction with the Senate, please give your text result to the chair. My second concern is that operation. I've heard that you earned a master's degree.
Yes, sir.
Then you got 2 BSc.
Yes, sir.
Okay. It reminds me about our experience at the LDEA. As you are going as operation, in ranking, maybe administration will be higher than the deputy for administration will be in ranking higher, or maybe senior operation. Okay. Then the director. Should the 2 above you are only maybe mere BSc holders, are we not going to experience the same thing that we had at the LDEA?
No, Senator. Technically, when it comes to firstly occupying a position of the top three, which is the Director General and 2 deputies. They are not fixed requirements educationally, so it's just an extra, you know, to be our friend. But when they are my bosses, I'm going to respect them. The team of that's law enforcement, chain of command. Doesn't matter whether I have a PhD or not. It's just that sometimes we too fast and there's a lot of book, you know, but that's not an issue.
Have you been, the three of you, you have been knowing the other two? You haven't been knowing the other two before?
Yes and no. I knew the Director General when he was there before. But Mr. Gui, I just started knowing it just a couple of days ago.
Okay. So, are you aware that that institution is, each of you, are you aware that that institution is government institution where every Liberian qualified are entitled to work?
Yes, sir.
So you should not take yourself as a preference in terms of consideration, so you go there and create what we've experienced recently.
Not at all, for me.
Okay.
Yeah, anyway, this is a governmental position. It's a service-oriented job. It's not a regular job. I mean, no one can pay, so to speak, for what we do in law enforcement, because our life on the line every day. I spent about 15 years. My first 3 years of active field work was to fight crime, was to fight drug dealers. So it's a service-oriented job, so it's not about the salary that we take. The passion that will drive us to this thing. As you said, I have a master's degree. I could have been someone else, but that's my whole life is law enforcement. That's it. 15 years counting. My history is very clear. When I've worked in law enforcement, that is clear. I've given results. And now we're posting here. I'll be frank with you. Law enforcement is different from other regular jobs. So the boss is the boss. My job is operation, and I take care of my department. I report to him, I seek his advice, but I'm on my side, on his side.
So you've all indicated your experience about working with the institution. Beside the institution, have you worked with other government institutions?
Yeah, for me, I work with, as I said, with Maritime, as a director for monitoring and surveillance, the same security stuff. All the vessels apply our oceans from Ghana to Sierra Leone. I monitor them on my computer, and I can know what is carrying money. An iron ore vessel, is logging vessel, is gas vessel, it's a sanitary vessel, it's a military vessel. I know. When I tag you, I know the flag you carry, the last country of stop. So all the information, that were trained by the U.S. Coast Guard. As I said earlier on, I worked with the prison company in Zurich, the biggest facility, where there were constant prison breaks. Every other week, to go break jail. When I got in, I had collaborated with the Indian Foreign Police Unit, the army correctional officer, and the Liberian police, and we tried to streamline everything. Since I left, to my knowledge, there has not been any more jailbreak. So everywhere I serve, I did my best, man. That's what I think to do.
Administration.
Yeah, 100%. There are key things in this drug law enforcement that we can follow. It's a key, and that is what we've been working with. Just to make some clarity, I worked with the DEA from the beginning, as I said, for the past 6 years because of change in leadership in the government. So we were sent out. We don't want to discredit people that were there, but it is true that because of the steps that they made, and you see everybody coming in to become volunteer. If you volunteer and you don't know why you're volunteering, you don't know about drug law enforcement, you just go, that means you're not volunteering anything. So there's no need to have volunteer in the place. But now that there are people there volunteering, so I think the director was sometime here and said that we're going to do a restructuring of the agency. It's not about putting everybody out. It is true that there are some people there who are possibly trainable. There are some can be trainable. And all that borders on integrity. Some of our work with the agency and the people take us through is because of integrity that we've been living by. And I have served this agency, as I said from the beginning, I've been so many countries to work and take training. I was trained by the LDEA on the same thing. I was trained by the Regional Academy for Drug Control in Jos, Nigeria. All right? Then I'm also trained by QUICA, the Korean International Organization Agency. They train in narcotic eradication and investigation. And in Korea, South Korea, the relatively free country for drugs is that country. So they carry to expose you to some of these things, all boiled down to integrity. And so what you have as being fair in your dealing, you have to pass it down to the employees. So for those things, we fire people, truly fire people when we find you in drug improprieties. These are the things we did. And so the director now and I worked together throughout. When you were director, I was deputy. So he knows exactly what I'm able to do. I may not be lousy, but I'm able to look at the issues and follow.
So I'm understanding that you are being reappointed into the same
Reappointed in the same position, yes.
Okay. So the question that was asked, maybe just briefly, what that was the position that you are occupying?
Yeah.
What difference you think it
Yeah, Representative, we had the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime that did the assessment of the agency, and the baseline then brought us to thinking exactly what to do. That baseline, they gave recommendations, and the recommendations point to key things. One, the manpower development, the human resource development. That is, those that are working there should be trained. And our base was people from high school should go for the training. And so what we did, we took them to the academy, and then after the police training, then we bring them here and train them drug law enforcement training. And so it was something that we were doing step by step. When I took over as deputy director, that was 215. But when we left 430 because we trained 2 classes at the academy. And through my administration, they're under the same director. All right, so these are steps that you can take to really alleviate the drug problem. And those people who are involved with drug, as you just asked the question, you can't be fighting people against the drug and we taking it. When we find you, while you're like, we'll fire you. These are the things we do. So we'll take the steps, the right step to make sure those that are there will not put everybody out, but we'll do a reform structuring of the people until we realize what the best step, the best practice in the
So I would advise that next Tuesday, after session, we will back to your office because we have critical questions to ask them to get ourselves convinced about their preparedness to it.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you. Let's take Senator
Chair from Swine County.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, thank you. Should I abbreviate your titles, DDA and DDO?
DEA, LDEA.
Oh, LD.
LDEA.
DDA, DDO.
Oh, okay, yes, I was talking about the agency.
I know
Okay,
that LDA. Deputy Director for Administration and Deputy for Operation.
You're right, Roger.
Right? Thank you. Like my colleague said, rightly so, if you are confirmed, you will be working at a very sensitive security institution. And so we reserve all of our technical questions for the committee room hearing. But I just wanted to emphasize the fact that the issue of drugs has become a menace. Our country is more or less at war with drugs. We are in a state of war. Just to let you know the severity of what we're talking about. And I believe that given the fact that you were there before, each of you, you do appreciate where I'm coming from. And so this is a very serious task, very serious task, very serious national endeavor. I don't think anybody should look upon without the necessary care and understanding. And given where you're coming from and where you are, I believe if you are confirmed, you'll do your best. But I'm not happy with some of the questions, the answers to some of the questions, especially where one of my colleagues asked as to the DDO, as to what level of performance should be expected from you. This is not a technical question, it's more administrative. And to say that your performance will tell us, will inform that. So in essence, you are saying we should wait until you start performing before we value you and confirm you. No, I don't think so. I don't think that's what you meant, right? No, you didn't mean that, but then you should not have said that. Then also, I wanted to know, you're talking about training, Mr. DDA, about training at the academy.
Yeah.
Academy, the police academy, we know that just basic police training.
Yeah.
How does that work out for the people at the DEA? Is there any segment of the training that caters specifically to them, besides the general policing?
Yeah, I understand that law enforcement start with police training.
What I'm saying, besides the basic.
After the police training, what they do, you bring the people in and we train them. A real drug law enforcement. Drug law enforcement in itself is another thing different from the ordinary.
Where are they trained?
They are trained when they do.
Now the police academy, right?
No, after the police academy.
After basic training.
Law enforcement training. Then experts will train them at the DEA headquarters.
Okay, how is that done? Do you, they provide the money? Do you have a budgetary allocation?
They have to come from our budget. They have to come from our budget. Okay. Where we have experts, we have lawyers to train the officers. We have professional drug law enforcement, principles and things to teach them. And because drug law enforcement is it's complicated. Yeah, drug can be easily conceived. You can carry drug and pass it.
That's what I'm saying. It can be the regular basic police
training. It can be after the basic police
training.
Yeah, after the basic police training, then we bring them for drug law
specialized training.
Specialized training, right?
Yeah. Okay. So I reserve the
let me just the police academy is just for the basic. It's like the normal police,
right?
Where they had a focal area, general policing, Liberian law, use of force, tactical training. For any policeman, for any immigration man.
Yes.
After that, we move into our own drug enforcement training. We got good relationship with the embassy, UNODC, INL. They can come with the experts and they introduce the actual drugs training. Besides that, the senior academy, we send them back after we have selected the supervisors. We have middle management courses going on in the academy, as well as senior management courses, where they lead us. So it's a whole chain of activity. But the first thing must be basic police training first.
The rest of my question will be technical, security-related questions that will deal with in committee room. But one last question, general question. What's your administrative structure like in terms of your position in the county?
From the headquarters to the county, right?
Right.
We have the 3 directors, and then we have section heads. Then we have the county commanders. Yeah. Then they have the detail commanders.
To whom the county commanders report?
The county commander report to the LDEA commander, to the LDEA director.
At headquarters?
At headquarters.
Okay.
Every county report to the LDEA. Yeah.
And you were there before. Had that been efficient?
Yeah, being efficient. But there are some modifications we want to do. Yeah, I would like to have a
I'm asking why they have been efficient since you were there before.
Yeah, they have been effective.
Thank you.
But we want to, as I told you, modify it.
That'll be done. There's always a need for improvement.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Chair for signing. So now tell what I'm every day for veteran affairs.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, I'd like to thank the nominee and the executive branch for the nomination. There are many of you that applied for this position, and it's our confidence in you to nominate you for these positions. I will not, I don't have many questions of public matter.
I've always said it and I will continue to say it. The countries that you serve for training, their national drug policies. Every country has a national drug policy. I don't expect you to come here and give you $3 million in my budget and say, go and fight drug. You're not going to win because there is no policy. It is the policy that guides you to go to work. All we are interviewing you for today is interdiction. So then what happened to treatment? The last time we put $3 million in the budget just for interdiction. Whether you got it or you didn't get it, for me, I thought it was a drop in the bucket for a nation that wants to wage war on drugs. All of you have been asked before, when you hear about waging war, you have to have the materials ready, equipped to go and fight. So, we send you up again. We confirmed the first 3 people, less than 3 months time, they got wasted by the enemy. So, reinforcement, you are the next reinforcement. There is no policy, national drug policy, linked with treatment. All of what you want to do, there is nothing in your budget, nothing in your policy that talks about treatment. So then what happened to the population? When you take the drug away, what happened to those that are zooming into the streets, that are jumping into the streets, that are hearing voices, that are thinking about killing their mind and power because they are hallucinating? But it's late. Let's go to another section. We'll discuss that. Thank you.
Thank you, Co-Chair. Angela, thank you for that beautiful presentations. Now, as chair of the National Security Committee, my colleagues have asked almost all of the major questions that can be answered here. And we will communicate with you in due course as to when the committee will be ready to have you in committee rooms. Because, like my colleagues have said, the issue of drugs is cardinal and it's even in the president's deliverables. So drugs is an issue. Somebody, one of our colleagues said, every woman in this country has got issue with drugs addiction. And so the Secretary of Senate will write you, giving you schedules, but that's second phase of your confirmation will be committee room conversation. Having said that, I have just 2 basic questions. One for the Deputy Director of Operations. In your deliberation, you said to us that you have worked to too many places and the result can speak volume. The last place you worked was at the Police Academy. Am I right? And looking at the Police Academy today is dilapidated. It's not an academy that we really want to boast of as a Liberians. And before we came here, the 54th, the 53rd did put a lot of money in the Police Academy budget. As director, how come you left the academy in a dilapidated condition?
Thank you, Honorable Senator. It's a fine question. As you rightly said, I stayed the last 5 years as head of the academy. Again, most times you see the budget, it carries a lump sum of money. There are processes. You write the finance ministry, they reply you and tell you when the economy improves, we'll take care of the other aspect of the academy. We have not received a dime as related to maintenance of that academy. We only got money for in-service training, some training materials, but the core issue was never addressed. If I can go back to my library and find some letters, I will bring it in the office hearing and show them to you that the minister wrote. We don't have money now. When the economy improves, the big water use to take care of you. So it's not that we had the money, we didn't use it because the records are there, the finance is there. The order will show. There were no monies for the academy. We were managing on our own. We've lost a couple of chances from the years past. They had tried to use this place as a training base for their staff. There's a new law now at the embassy where they train local staff to remind ambassadors. So the guy chief in this case, the academy has a fine setting, but the guy said it's absolutely the old time place. It's not up to standard. It's the same thing he's saying. Sometimes you don't push people to give you the money. If you read the request, it goes to the ministry, it gets to the finance ministry. It's a different story. So I understand a lot of people said that the economy is, it looks bad, but what can we do at the time? We manage to work with what we have at the time. So some of these things, that's what we are.
So that's a critical question. Like you said, we would need evidence of that because we are, if you get designated, if you get confirmed, you're going to a bigger job with a more complicated system, and we want to know from that report your level of efficiency and level of ability to manage. We need that document. Now we go to administration. Does the structure have assistant director positions? The structure of the DEA?
No.
So
No,
it's
as
just
far as I know,
it's just structure from deputy
from
to
deputy, from the deputy director, deputy directors, then we have section heads.
but right now you have some people on the field who has got assistant director position. Yes.
Yes, Honorable Senator. I have seen some people that way. As I said earlier, when we worked at the DA previous time, those positions were not there. As I speak to you, the organic ground for the agency don't have such thing. We're trying to draft one when we left the scene, and up to this stage, that scene one stayed there. Even the law that was passed, these are all policy issues. So we have to work out things to do the new organic ground that will work to commensurate with the law that passed based on the activities that we need to carry. These are all the kind of work we're going to start doing. But no assistant director, if you hear from somebody, they just confirm that to themselves. There are a whole lot of things there. In fact, if you see, people have ranking. Somebody who is of higher rank in the job got lower rank attached. Then you have people who way down there have bigger rank. They are all mixed up. We don't want to blame somebody for it, but they're what they're in right now. So these are some of the policy things we got to tackle, really.
Yes, sir. It is good that you are aware of such things. The few times I passed by the office, thank you, sir. The few times I passed by the office, Honorable Senator, I was there by myself. Maybe because I went to law school, that's why they kind of curious to me. I asked specific questions. Where are the structures? And they're like, oh, chief, we're working on it. This is law enforcement, it's regimented. If there's no structure, it's a problem. People carry insignia that are not approved. People got ranks that no policy for rank. That's a serious, serious issue. So we got a whole lot of work to do, even in the office for going to the field. Because I will not go in the field with just anybody. Like I said before, it has to be laid out. It cannot be by law. To get this rank, you must pass this test, and this test must be approved. Even the rank you carry must be approved by the Justice Minister. So the structural issue at the LDEA, I think that's the key of the whole matter. Once that is set up, we can flow. The actual job is not that difficult. When you have a policy, it will guide you as you go through. With our experience, we can move the DEA around. But the structures, that's the key issue. And when you jump into operation without looking at the structure part, you get confused. It's a serious thing.
Okay, so
for time's sake, I'm going to ask this last question, and then we close this confirmation. And like I said, we will send you notification through the secretary office about our next engagement, and our next engagement would be a committee hearing engagement. Mr. Deputy Director for Administration Designate, have you seen your budget?
No.
Have you seen your proposed budget?
I've not seen the proposed budget.
Okay. So if you haven't seen the project, I'm not going to ask a question because you haven't seen the budget. So at this point in time, let me make my closing remarks and then we close. So my closing remark would be that this institution is a key institution for our governance system. And like I said, the president is very concerned about drugs. That's why he demonstrated by doing his own drug tests, and every government official that got nominated, that got confirmed through the Senate, was asked as to whether their drug tests has been taken. We're not just going to start there. We'll work with you to make sure that those ministers or government appointees file into your office all of their drugs tests. And I wanted that, as Chair of National Security, will authorize you to do random drug tests to our government officials. That we're going to do. We're going to authorize you to do that, to just do random drug tests, especially based on suspicions. If we have suspected some of our ministers using drugs, we'll definitely empower you to do that for us. And so we will get you into the committee room, and we will end this conversation. But let me just leave this with you, that you have been given a very dedicated task if you get confirmed to manage the drugs, especially operations. The administration aspect will be there to support you, but operations is very key to this fight against drugs. Having said that, I want to say thank you, and I would, at this point, ask the Sergeant of the kindly. So I would, at this point in time, ask the Sergeant of the kindly discharge the nominee. When you get back, you'll be placed on oath again. Yeah. So come discharge. Yeah. But just come up in the next 10 minutes.